Okay, we are good. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Sideline. My name is Rishioza.
My name's Asher Hire.
And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about Nuggets draft, a lot of other basketball stuff that we were going to get into. And then we're talking about the Avalanche going up 3-1 last night in one of the games of the year in hockey. At least that's what it felt like as an Avalanche fan. So I guess we'll start with, what do you want to say? You want to start with the draft because it's going on?
Yeah, let's do the draft.
Okay. So Denver, they, I guess, kind of disappointingly used both of their first round picks. I feel like a lot of fans were expecting us to trade one or both of those picks. They use both of them. They don't take Marjan Beauchamp, which is what a lot of Nuggets fans wanted. They don't take Wendell Moore. They don't take Blake Wesley. They take Christian Braun at pick 21, which is a guy who we talked about earlier. Both of us like him, but I don't know. I'm still a little iffy on it.
Yeah, no, I would have preferred Beauchamp for sure, I think. But I mean, I like Braun. Like, he can play defense. He can shoot. Obviously, he was like almost 40% from three. His 3-point attempts like lowered a lot last year compared to the year before, but he's a shooter. I think he had the second highest standing vertical at the combine, so
Yep.
That's a good sign. I'm not really too sure what his wingspan is, but
it's not good.
Yeah, I mean,
he has a negative wing, so it's lower than his height.
Okay.
Which is that's one of the bigger things as to why I was a little disappointed. Like I really like Christian Braun. He, when you say like, oh, he has that dog in him as like a meme, like that is, it's very much applicable to Christian Braun. He talks a lot of trash. He has an extremely high motor. It's very intense on the court. And like Asher said, he has the second highest standing vertical at the combine. He's extremely athletic. He, in a sense, he is what the Nuggets need. He's a very good defender. At least in college, he was. That's what his role is going to be pretty much the same coming into the NBA. He's a plug-and-play player, which is a good sign. It's just his physical tools in terms of his athleticism and his hand size were not the greatest. And Marjan Beauchamp, who, I thought he played very well in the G League. It's just his shooting wasn't as good, but in terms of his athleticism, I think he's a better athlete than Braun. He has a much, much better wingspan. He was a little taller. I just thought he fit what Denver needed a lot better. But I'm not too mad about the Christian Braun pick. I think that's fine. It's not like, I don't think the difference between him and Beauchamp is, difference between a championship and not making the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah.
What I am a bit confused about is their second first round pick, Peyton Watson. They did bring him in for a workout, and I have to assume that this must have been the greatest workout of all time, because Peyton Watson averaged 3.3 points per game at UCLA's freshman year on 32% from the field, 22% from the 3-point line, and 68% from the free throw line. So, and he was the 12th ranked prospect out of high school. He has very high potential. He's long. He's 6'8". He has an extremely long wingspan. He's a guy who a lot of people think that he has the tools to be an incredible defender, which is a good sign. I think when you look at both Braun and Watson, Denver went all in on defense, which I like that aspect of it. But I know that
it was confusing. There's like Christian Coloco just went. He could have been an option. There is the guy from Michigan, Diabate.
Yep.
He was an option, but I don't know. I mean, I don't completely mind it or whatever. Because I think it is just a purely defensive pick. There is this clip of him like covering basically every single player on a play in this high school clip. Like he guarded the entire team on one play pretty much.
Yeah.
And then in UCLA, he didn't really play that many minutes. I know he didn't start a single game.
He only played under 13 minutes a game. It was like 12.7.
Yeah. So, I think they're just completely betting on like his physical tools. It kind of reminds me of that Jared Vanderbilt pick, and that pick was in the second round. So it's kind of different, but Vanderbilt, he played like 3 games at Kentucky, and
Yeah.
didn't average like a point, but they just picked him because of his physical tools. So I feel like this is kind of the pick right here. I mean, like I don't mind it because like I don't the Nuggets don't need offense really, no matter really who's on the court because of Jokic. Just
Yeah.
like they led the league in true shooting percentage. Without Porter, without Murray. And that's clearly like all because of Jokic. So the offense, I don't think is like a concern at all. So I mean, just purely defensive guy. We'll see. Maybe he turns out to be something. As you said, he was one of the top recruits in high school. So obviously, he's shown some potential there, and must have shown some offensive potential too. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's like my thought. I mean, they did bring him in for a workout. I remember seeing his name. The workout must have went really, really well because I mean he must have shown the ability to shoot the ball a lot better than what he did at UCLA. Must have shown some ball handling skills, creation ability. Let's see who OKC just took Jalen Williams from Arkansas. Like that's actually a good pick. OKC's having a really good draft.
yeah, they are.
OKC's having a really good draft. But he must have really wowed them in that workout offensively because defensively, even at UCLA, like he was good. And another thing, a lot of people have been saying, like he is raw, but he didn't really get a chance to develop at UCLA at all because of how veteran heavy UCLA was, especially in their starting lineup. So like their top two guys were returners from their Final Four run last year with Johnny Juzang and Jamie Jaquez. And they had more guys like Tiger Campbell was a returning guy. Like they had so many guys who were taking minutes they were just there because of the earlier years. So I do like the thought process of going for defensive guys. But I don't know. I think that there would have been I think there were better options than Peyton Watts. I just looking at his box score, like it's like, how is this guy a first round pick? Like 3 points on 30% shoot. Like that is really, really weird.
It is, yeah. And yeah, like you said, like I was not expecting, I mean, maybe something happens later on tonight with trades and stuff, but most likely not. I was not expecting for them to take both of these first round picks, whether it was trading up, like Tari Eason, Dalen Terry, one of those guys, or obviously trading like DeAnthony Melton just went for the 23rd pick and Danny Green. So you could have done that with 21 and Will Barton. And then Jeremy Grant just went. The market right now seems very cheap out there considering Jeremy Grant's trade package. Like I feel like that just makes the whole league kind of the market for players kind of like that goes down. So yeah, I mean it's just kind of weird. I feel like they could have done something better. Obviously, like DeJounte Murray was the dream, but that
that DeJounte Murray was never going to happen. And I think like it's weird because every single Nuggets reporter and national reporter was like, expect a lot of trades. I'm expecting John Collins. I was expecting him to be traded at some point. I was expecting Will Barton to probably be off the Nuggets roster. I was not expecting us to use both these picks. And in a win now year, in a year that they're thinking championship or bust, using those picks and using roster spots on guys who aren't going to get minutes. And Christian Brown, I think, has a chance to get minutes, but if Peyton Watson isn't, like, if he actually is a 22% 3-point shooter, he's not going to find the floor. So to me, that's just like a waste of a roster spot. And the good thing is now Denver has a G League team, so they can actually send him down there, let him develop there, which is a huge plus. Like if this happened last year or the year before, like that wouldn't be an option. It'd be even worse. But they have the ability to go down and develop him and like keep an eye on him. And we will see. We'll be able to see in summer league, how all this works out if he is if his offensive game is improved. But it's just a little weird. And I don't doubt that Calvin Booth and that front office like weren't calling the phones and like they weren't trying to trade, because like I feel like it would be dumb if they weren't. Like that'd just be too stupid of a choice. But I assume there were just no packs that they liked. And now when you look at Will Barton's place in the roster. There's a lot of rumors of Monte Morris over the past few days leading up to the draft. Those guys, you look at them as kind of deadline acquisitions now, deadline deals, moving them for bigger wings at that point, and they start the year off on the roster, which is not the worst thing. I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but I for sure had these thoughts. Like, I'm not mad if Will Barton's on the roster to start the season, because when healthy and when he was in the roster healthy with MPJ, with Jamal Murray, with Aaron Gordon, he was great. He was phenomenal. That was only a year ago. So like, I have no reason to believe that he can't get to that point, at least offensively. Defensively is another thing, but offensively, I don't think there's any reason why he can't get back to like, 12 points a game on extremely efficient shooting. So I'm not horribly mad at it. It's just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. And they were going back to the Monte Morris stuff. Like, there were reports of them, not trading Monte because they don't know how well Jamal is going to come back. They don't know if Bones is really, there yet to completely take over that backup position. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like be surprised if he is a trade deadline kind of guy that they would trade away then, because then they would get the gauge on Murray and Bones to see if they're good enough. And then maybe you get a wing at the trade deadline for Morris, because it seems like his market is pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Like Mike Singer said that, Denver was probably expecting more than KCP to come from the Wizards just for Monte Morris. So like, if that's KCP and Hachimura, or if that's KCP and a pick, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that.
Yeah.
I guess like Kuzma, they've been shopping around Kuzma too. So Morris's market seems pretty good right now. But yeah, I feel like they'll kind of rock with this. We'll see what they do in free agency, I guess. But
yeah, it seems like they're banking on free agency a lot more than the draft, which is fine. I mean, in late first round picks normally don't contribute. Like, Bones Highland was an anomaly. Look at all the picks around him. Like, they did not contribute nearly as much to their playoff teams. Like, Jaden Springer was the guy I really wanted in the draft. He got picked a couple picks later. He didn't contribute at all to the 76ers this season. Cam Thomas was picked a couple picks earlier. He was good in the beginning of the year when Kyrie Irving was out. But once Kyrie came back, he didn't do anything. So like, picks in that range don't normally contribute. Bones Highland was an extreme anomaly, and in a situation where he was able to do that. So like, Christian Braun, I'm excited to see how he is, because Denver hasn't really had a player like him in terms of just like an athletic wing like this in a while. So I'm excited to see him. Summer League starts pretty soon in like 2 weeks. So we'll be able to get a good look on him and Peyton Watson. So be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, we ended tonight with 2 more wings on the roster than they started. So I think, that's definitely what they were aiming for. And I feel like that's successful, but I feel like I just would have gone a little bit of a different way, but hey, it's
I think I like, it's just off. Like, Peyton Watson, I have no doubt defensively he can be that guy. It's just offensively, like, those box score numbers are just like, whoa.
But like, if he could just be like a good cutter and a good offensive I mean, just like the Jared Vanderbilt role, like, that's good enough for me.
Like,
because
he like, I look back at like Herb Jones. He is 3 seasons at Alabama. He averaged like 4 points, 6 points, and 7 points. So like, he wasn't a scorer at all, and look at what he's turned into with New Orleans. But he also shot a lot better from the field, and he had normal shooting splits, which is obviously a lot different than what Peyton Watson has. But we'll see. Summer League is going to be a big tell about him, and like, seeing if his fit really, like, if his stats really were just because he was in a crowded rotation at a very, very talented UCLA team, and if it just like didn't fit properly. So yeah, my biggest gripe isn't with the player. It's the fact that we didn't trade that pick, because I feel like, DeAnthony Melton, he goes for Danny Green in a pick, which I think Denver easily could have matched. And you have a better pick. First off, you have 21 instead of 23. You could have offered Will Barton or somebody on the roster. Like I don't know. It's I that's just I don't see the point in having like a project player like Watson on the roster in a win now season.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he could contribute in 2 to 3 years. He could be a very good player in 2 to 3 years, but we need very good players right now. And at the 30th pick, like that just you're not going to find a guy who's going to contribute immediately on a winning team. That just isn't going to happen.
But Brown seems like the opposite. He seems like he's NBA ready already, which is
for sure. And 100%. I have Christian Brown, like I wanted Beauchamp. He wanted Beauchamp. I feel like most of the Nuggets fan base wanted Beauchamp, but Brown is 100% a good alternative to it. So I'm totally fine with him. I don't have any gripe with that. We'll see. Summer League will be the biggest tell. Preseason will be a bigger tell. Like a lot of people felt this exact same way about Bones Highland. Like when he was picked, it was like, oh no, it should have been James Springer or it should have been, I don't know, whoever else. And then, in Summer League, he goes and he balls out and everyone's like, wait, hold on, this guy's good. And then in preseason, he plays really well. And they're like, wait, hold on. And he ended up being second team all rookie. So hopefully the same thing can happen with Christian Brown. I think a lot of the tension too is because it's not a new front office, but it's a new guy in charge. So a lot of the moves are just going to be under a lot more scrutiny. So that's a bigger reason. But I think that's it on the Nuggets draft. I want to talk about the Pistons because they are in a position to be very, very good over the next couple of seasons. So the Kings did what the Kings do. They didn't take Jaden Ivey at number 4. Keegan Murray is a good player. I think he fits very well, but I don't know why they didn't want Jaden Ivey. It didn't make a lot of sense. But they don't take him. Jaden Ivey lands in Detroit, and then Detroit trades for Jalen Duren. So now you have like a big 3 young core of Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
That is great. And they're probably the favorite to land DeAndre Ayton too.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about that too. Like with them picking Duren, and how much did they trade again?
For Duren. That trade was so weird. Because like first it was like Duren went to the Knicks and he did, and then the Knicks traded him and Walker to the Pistons or something. I think they just traded a first rounder next year or something like that.
What was the big trade with like 3 first round picks?
That was the
OKC. New York OKC.
Yeah, it was OKC to New York.
Okay. But anyways, with them like picking Duren, who seems kind of like the same player as Ayton, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's not really. I mean, Ayton's like range is better. I don't like Duren can only shoot from like 2 feet in right now, but it's interesting. Like, are they still gonna go after Ayton, or are they just content with this? I don't know.
It'll definitely be interesting because they also have Isaiah Stewart on the roster, and he has had a really good first couple of seasons to his career.
Yeah, and I mean he's a lot like Duren too. I feel like.
Yeah, like kind of lob threat.
Yeah,
like really low post guys. But that'll be interesting. Actually, that is true. They will have a kind of overload of bigs on the roster.
But maybe they trade like Duren to Phoenix or something.
Or I don't think they would give up Duren for Phoenix because I mean, like I don't think like Phoenix would like to get a sign and trade back, but they don't want Ayton. So like. If they get if Detroit offers him a max, they're not going to match it, and he's gone anyway. Like if they match it, they'll be able to do a sign and trade. But if they don't match it, he's just gone regardless. Which I think that they're not going to match it. But like I don't know, Detroit's building something very great.
They're going to be fun. I mean, we didn't even mention Sadiq Bey, like him on the perimeter too.
Yeah.
That's going to be such a fun team.
Yep.
Bro.
Yeah, like that. I just wanted to talk about them. They had a really, really good draft.
OKC's had a really good draft.
Okay, so he had a really good draft. Both of us. I wanted Jalen Williams so bad on the Nuggets, but his combine performance just shot him up the boards.
Mhm.
But I really wanted him, and I think Chet Holmgren fits fine. A lot of I like his weight. I still think is going to be an issue early on in his career, but he's not like a back to the basket post up guy anyway. Like
Right.
that's not what he did in college. It's not what he did in high school. It's not what he's going to do in the NBA. So he's going to be a perimeter oriented guy. They're going to put some other big around him, whether it's Isaiah Roby or if it's Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Somebody bigger is going to play next to him.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
OKC has something going for sure. And they still have all those picks too. Like this is only like maybe year like 2 into this insanely amount of first round picks.
They still have 18 more picks until 2027 in the first round.
Yeah. And I feel like they're hitting on most of them. Like I like the Jang pick too.
Yep.
It was funny. Like I was watching the ABC thing and Stephen A and whatever his name is, Spike Lee, were both like really mad when the Knicks traded or when the Knicks drafted Yang, and I'm like, man, that's like a pretty good pick for them. And then they trade that to OKC. I'm like, all right, he's gonna be a star for sure now. Like, Knicks fans are just gonna always be suffering. I think he's gonna be really good. Like you said, like they kept 12 while moving up to 11.
Like they're gonna have to offload some of these picks. Like at some, like they don't have enough roster space for all these picks.
Oh, they picked both Jalen Williams. I just noticed that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's funny. So they don't have enough roster space for all these picks. So they're going to be able to trade them. They have a lot of cap space. The only guy who really is going to be a cap hit is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because he has a max contract. But like Lou Dortz, like he's not on a max deal. Josh Giddey is still on a rookie contract. You still have all of like Trey Mann still on a rookie contract. You still have all these guys, Poku on a rookie contract. Then these rookies you coming in now are on like you're going to have a lot of cap space to sign bigger guys when you do choose to, want to be in contention, or if you trade for somebody, if you want to be in contention like that. So I think OKC is in a really, really good spot.
Yeah.
With these picks.
I thought the Spurs have had a really good draft too. And they're about to pick again. But dude, it's insane how many wings go. Like, all the Spurs picks have been wings. Jeremy Sohan, I thought that was a really good pick. Malachi Branham fell all the way to 20. And then Blake Wesley too, who's another wing and another solid defending wing. I feel like they all fit perfectly into that like San Antonio system. We'll see who they draft. Let me see if they tweeted it.
I know who they. Oh wait.
Oh, they.
Okay, so they took Kennedy Chandler, but they traded him to Memphis.
Yeah, so Memphis really took him.
Yeah. So Memphis has him. Yeah.
But they've had a really good draft. I think the Blazers have had a good like off season, I guess, so far. I like banking on the potential of Shaedon Sharpe. We'll see. Just you just hope he can be a second star around Dame, and feel like he had the most potential out of any of the rest of the guys drafted after him. So that was a good pick. I like the AJ Griffin pick for the Hawks. He fell pretty low.
Yeah, I really like that for them. Yeah. I like Ochai Agbaji for Cleveland too.
Yeah,
that was him falling. Well, I don't know if it's falling. That's probably the range he was going to get picked at. But him being there is good. There's a lot of.
Minnesota had 3 first round picks, kind of.
Who had 3?
Minnesota.
Yeah, they traded out of 19.
That's true. Yeah,
and they got it, and then they traded something else. Yeah, but they got Walker Kessler. They got Wendell Moore, which makes me extremely angry. Tim Connelly refused to pick a wing for
I know.
I didn't really like the first year in Minnesota he does it.
I don't really like the Kessler pick for them.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Was funny. I laughed when they picked him.
Yeah,
he's a good shot blocker.
Pick was kind of too, I think, but Yeah, the Wendell Moore pick. That was annoying because I wish he was. I was hoping he would be there at 30.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
but of course they go with him. So and then of course Jovic goes right after him too. I was like, nah.
Yeah, I was like, once Beauchamp went out, I was like, oh crap, like now we're screwed. And then
Mhm.
Moore went and Wesley went, like all like back to back to back.
I
I was like,
know.
are you serious? Like every guy who I thought should be there at 30 is all gone. So I was like, you know what?
Roddy.
Like at this point, just take Jokic. Like just for the meme, take him. And then he went too. So like I was really like, who are they gonna take? Are they gonna take EJ Liddell, who is still somehow on the
Still,
board?
I
I don't know
know.
how. He's still somehow there, but they didn't take him. They didn't take Jaden Hardy, who I thought would have been an option. He ended up in Sacramento. They take
Dallas.
Josh Minot. They ended up taking Peyton Watson. So very weird. But yeah, I think Detroit won the draft so far. I think San Antonio had a good draft. And then I think OKC, like they did pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Houston getting Jabari Smith at 3, I think is a steal. I think he was the best overall player in the draft. But I don't know. The way Paolo Banchero, like his odds last night just completely shot up. I mean, he like Jabari Smith on one draft, like on one betting site was like minus 10,000 odds for the number 1 pick, like last night. And then Paolo Banchero just shot like out of nowhere.
I know. I actually jumped on it last night, like when that was going on. The book that I use, which isn't like it's like an offshore or whatever, Bovada. That's not DraftKings. That's not FanDuel. They still had Banchero as a plus 110 when all the other sites had him at like minus 200 to go number 1. So I'm like, okay, there must be something here. So I put Banchero number 1 and then Smith number 3. Obviously that both happened, but like I woke up and I saw Woj tweeted that. I'm like, all right, bro, like really, I just lost all
he
that
said
money.
that Jabari Smith's going number 1.
Yeah, and then coming up to draft time, like the whole thing shifted again. So I wonder what like happened during that whole like fiasco last night. Like how did the books know what was going on, but Woj didn't until the very last second.
Yeah, it was really weird. And it's even weirder because like Banchero didn't have a workout with Orlando. Like he didn't meet with them that much. It was kind of just like they overnight changed their minds and the books knew. Because I feel like for months it was kind of like, Jabari Smith is gotta be number 1. Like that's just the consensus, and it was just the complete opposite. So very odd. Very odd.
EJ Liddell just went to New Orleans. I thought they've had a good draft now too. I like the Dyson Daniels pick.
Yeah.
And EJ Liddell too. In the second round, I think he steals.
New Orleans is just completely loaded up on wings right now. Completely loaded up. Like you have Herb Jones, you get Dyson Daniels, and you already have Brandon Ingram. You have Zion who's coming back. They have so many wings. It is going to be New Orleans is going to be really, really good next year if Zion's able to stay healthy. Even if he doesn't, like you still have CJ out there. You still have like enough talent, to get through. But yeah, that's their New Orleans is going to be good. Getting Liddell at what 41, 42,
41.
That's a steal. I was like convinced he was going first round. Everyone thought he was going to go first.
I know. I mean, people were saying he was almost a lottery pick, right outside the lottery.
Yeah.
41. That's a good place to pick a player.
It's a good number.
So yeah, I really like that pick because I thought he could have gone like, I don't know, like 18 to the Bulls was heavily mocked.
Yep.
I thought Branham was going to go higher too. Both the Ohio State guys fell. I guess I kind of like understand why Liddell, just because he's undersized for the position he plays. He's not that great of a defender. His shot has like a little hitch in it too. Even though it's like he makes them, it still looks kind of weird. And I don't know if the range is really like, I don't know if he has NBA range because of how his shot is such a line drive and there's a hitch. So, um, but I mean, I still think he's a good player on the face up game. He's automatic pretty much. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
The
the pick.
biggest thing with him is that he doesn't like have a position like
Yeah.
in the end, like because in college, obviously, like he's a four, like he's a clear cut four. But in the NBA, because he's like 6'7", you're like, okay, he can be a three, like he probably should be a three with his height, but then his weight, he's like 240. So it's like
Yeah.
that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But yeah, they're showing his highlights. He's a good playmaker, really good, like a good shooter, like a certifiably good shooter. Extremely strong. He's a face-up guy. He can back you down. He's gonna be able to take advantage of mismatches. Not sure if he'll play right away because New Orleans is gonna be a playoff team, but the really good development pick for them. Yeah. Now the draft is getting into people who I have no clue who anyone is.
That was Trevor Keels. He started out the year. I remember he started out the year at Duke really well. It was like Trevor Keels could be like a top 5 pick and then completely fell off. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty much it for the draft. The Nuggets don't have another pick unless they trade back in. There's not like a player like Bull that everyone's just waiting on.
Yeah. At this point, not really. Like the one guy who I think Denver could go after is Keon Ellis. I saw a lot about him. He's from Alabama. He's like Herb Jones, like a clone of him, essentially. So whoever gets him, I think will get a steal. But I think if Denver does go for someone, they should go for him. But they already have 2 rookies. Like they already have a guy like they already took a chance on a guy, Peyton Watson. Like I don't think they're gonna go for anybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, they have 2 second rounders next year. And I don't think they want to mess with those until next year and see if they want to trade up into the second round next year or do something with that. So I think in terms of draft stuff, I think that's it. There have been a couple trades. We should probably talk. The Christian Wood trade that happened a couple weeks ago, which was interesting because it didn't really seem like Dallas gave up a lot. They gave up.
I know. Again, like the market just seems cheap right now for guys of like his caliber and Jeremy Grant's caliber.
Yeah, it was really like I saw it and like I was assuming it's like, all right, Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably going to be part of the trade, like maybe Maxi Kleber or something like that. But they didn't. Neither of them. It was Boban, Trey Burke, Sterling Brown. Like
there was just a bunch of like bench warmers.
Yeah, it was bench warmers, guys who weren't playing regardless. And then the 26th pick, which Dallas got back, by the way. Like Houston didn't even use that pick. Dallas got it back, and then they traded that to Minnesota. So that turned into Wendell Moore. But it was just like that's such a weird trade. I mean, it was really, really low risk for Dallas to do that. I think it's good. I still think they're going to make another move. I still think they should make another move, but it's a step in the right direction. He's good. He's offensively, they're going to be a lot better. It's a lot more spacing. You replace him with Dwight Powell, like that, the pick and roll becomes infinitely more dangerous. There's so many more different variations that you can do with that.
Yeah, him and Grant just seem like pretty much like replicas of each other, almost just kind of guys on bad team with probably inflated stats, not great efficiency, and they're just not going for much. But I think, in a situation like that where he can just be the pick and popper, he can thrive. I mean, probably play like the same role as Porzingis. And obviously that didn't really work, but they have a better team around now. But we'll see, because the Knicks look like they are just throwing everything at Jalen Brunson, including draft picks that they traded to just free up space for him.
Yeah. Because they traded Kemba and they said they're going to use that extra space to try and go for Brunson. Brunson's from New York too, which is obviously going to play a huge factor.
But they traded pick 11 to just get off Kemba Walker's deal.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like, I know Kemba over the past couple of years hasn't been very good, but there's no way you had to include the 11th overall pick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To get him. Like there's no way that it was that bad. very weird. And it's not even like his salary is like 9 million is not like an untradeable
Right.
amount.
It's not like it's like 20 million.
He's not on the max contract he signed with Boston anymore. Like he's like a very very weird trade by New York. I don't really. They kept trying to go for Jaden Ivey even after Detroit picked him, and then like there's a trade with the Duran thing. I was like, oh, maybe Duran's going to the Pistons and Ivy might be going to New York. Something with that would happen. That didn't work out. Pistons kept both Duran and Ivy. Yeah, very very weird choices by the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. They're looking at Kyrie. That's another interesting situation. It was funny, like all of Kyrie's teams is just huge markets, like the biggest markets in the league. It's like, all right, man, just kind of weird. Like he only wants to play. Like he feels so like revolutionary with his thinking, but then at the same time, he's also like, just get the vaccine, dude, and like you just picking all these big market teams, like that's just like a bot to kind of like move.
Yeah, like his preferred trade destinations, like his teams on the no trade list that he'll climb up, like he'll check off both the LA teams, the Knicks, the Sixers, Miami, and Dallas. Like legitimately the 6 biggest markets in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm surprised like Chicago not making the cut is like a like a stab in their heart for them because they're one of the huge markets too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like New York, really, if he goes to New York, like, they're never winning anything because he can't lead a team by himself. Plus, they have nothing around him.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to New York because that team will just keep failing and failing, and he'll keep failing. But yeah, just weird. Like there's just so many better options to just than to just say all the huge cities. Like at this point, it doesn't even feel like he cares about winning. More as just being in the spotlight.
Yeah, and a lot of people want him. Like just if you look at the talent of Kyrie, like it's almost unmatched. Like he is an incredible ball handler. Obviously he's an incredible shooter from every single point. He's an unguardable player. His defense isn't like horrible. Like he is like he's an average defender, I would say. Like he's not like such a negative that you have to take him off the court at times. Like you can win games with him, but putting a lot of like interest in him or putting a lot of investment in him in terms of trading away assets, I don't know what I would do. Like I don't know if I would do that. Like Denver, I wouldn't. 100% I wouldn't. I don't want the media circus and the mess that he brings to Denver. And like I wouldn't. I don't know.
I never really like. I don't mean to like keep harping on Kyrie or whatever, but it seems like he's just so like it's almost like narcissistic kind of just with how much he like wants to be in the spotlight. There's I want out of Cleveland, for like no reason other than just wanting to be his own player. I want out of Cleveland, so the eyes are on me. Now I'm saying I want to be in Boston for the rest of my career. The eyes are on me. And then I go to Brooklyn, all the eyes are on me. And then I don't get the shot and all the eyes are still on me because all the news is around me. And then I say the world is flat and all the eyes are on me. And then he shows up to Barclays Center as a fan and all the eyes are on him. And then he does this Twitch stream, which gets like 10,000 viewers and all the eyes are on him. And now he does this where he just lists all the big cities in the US. And again, all the eyes are on him. It's like, he doesn't strike me as a guy that would want all the eyes are on him, but every single thing he does or says, it's like huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know, but he is definitely a really good player. So
yeah, that's the issue. He's an incredible player, but just it doesn't like I don't know. It's so weird. Like it's so weird how his career has turned around after he left Cleveland. And like if he goes to the Lakers, that would be like funny, like to see because I don't think that it would be. I I don't think it'd be very successful. Like I think in terms of fit wise, like Kyrie, LeBron, and Russ, or Kyrie, LeBron, and AD, like that's like as perfect of a fit as you can imagine. Obviously, we know Kyrie and LeBron can fit together, and then Kevin Love fit perfectly with those two, and you replace him with Anthony Davis, and like, yeah, you're going to be well. But they don't really have anything to give up for him. And even if they did, they would have to give up all of their depth. So it'd just be them three and nobody else, which is exactly what happened in Brooklyn. And we saw how that worked out. I think if he goes to the Clippers, that'd be horrifying. Like that would actually be,
oh, for sure.
Like that would be.
That's the only team on there that really makes sense.
Yeah. Like, because first one, I don't even think the Clippers need him. I think they are going to be championship favorites without him. Like just as the roster right now, you add a healthy Kawhi, add a healthy Paul George, they're probably championship favorites as it is. But if they add Kyrie, then they don't really have to give up that much. Like I don't know what assets they have that Brooklyn would even want is the issue. But like them and Miami are the two teams that I'm like, okay, if he goes there, then those are legit like favorites. But other than that, like I don't know. It's just him as a number one option. Like it clearly has not worked, like at all.
Yeah. Maybe he realizes that, and he's picking all the teams with like other superstars on them. I guess Dallas would be like a good fit just because he can be that pure scorer that we've been saying Dallas like needs.
Yeah. Like when Harden was in Brooklyn, he was point guard and Kyrie was a shooting guard. And when all three of him, KD, and Harden played together, they were obviously exceptional. Yeah. But it was because Harden was playing the point guard and Kyrie was just pure scorer. So in Dallas, they'd be able to work. If he goes to, I mean, Philadelphia would be put on the list. I don't know how they'd be able to get him. But if they do it without giving up Harden, like I feel like that'd be a pretty good fit. Those are the two most interesting ones to me because it like those in theory would work. It's just like the human aspect of Kyrie, I guess. Like that sounds bad, but like
I don't know because
the non-basketball part of Kyrie.
I think, but yeah,
like the non-basketball part of Kyrie Irving is what I'm most worried about.
Right.
But if he does leave, it seems pretty likely that Kevin Durant's gonna request a trade out.
Well, Denver got the 46th pick.
Oh.
We'll see what happens there live, but Ismail Kamagate.
Oh, we got him?
Yeah.
He's good.
Where is he from again?
He is from France.
Oh.
Is he a center or a wing? I think he's a center, right?
6'11" big man, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's a center. He's okay. I think he's good. He's talented. He's a defensive guy. I know that for sure. Which seems to be the definitely the theme of the draft for the Denver Nuggets. But I like he's good. I'm pretty sure we hosted him for a workout too. We hosted somebody from France.
I think it was him, yeah. And maybe this like finally shores up the backup center position. That's just been like a revolving door since Plumlee left. Yeah.
I mean, I personally would want DeMarcus Cousins back, but if he might have played himself out of Denver's price range, because he did play very well. Kamagate would be good. I don't know if he would be able to contribute right away again, which is just once again the issue with the last two picks. Like they are a bit of project players. So it's just like, why, But I in the second round, like every single second round pick is a project. Like you're not going to get a guy who's playing right away. At this point in the draft, so that's fine with me. But no, I like it. I think summer league's gonna be fun because there's definitely guys who like this actually like last year for me, like all I wanted to watch was Bones and Bol in the summer league. But this year you're gonna have three guys who are legit guys. 2021, 2022 French League All-Star. He averaged 12, 6, and a block and a half per game. I'm just gonna look at these ESPN highlights because I don't. Okay.
So he's 6'11", 230, which is obviously a good size. Like some of these, especially the international guys, always seem so thin, but 230 is a huge guy. 7'3" wingspan.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Quick off his feet. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good backup defensive center.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is different. Like this is definitely a more Calvin Booth type of era now because Denver, all three guys that they've drafted. Well, I don't know. I think Christian Brown was a private draft, but this is two guys now that they've drafted with public workouts, which they hadn't done since like Tim Conley got. Like they didn't obviously like Zeke Naji and RJ Hampton, they couldn't do public workouts because of the COVID stuff, but they didn't publicly work out Bones Highland. That kind of came out of nowhere. They didn't even work out Jamal Murray because he wasn't even expected to be there. They didn't publicly work out Moutier. They didn't work out MPJ, obviously. Like they have this reputation of just taking guys kind of out of the blue, but
yeah,
these guys are people who Denver has worked out and they seem to have liked in those workouts.
Right.
At least that's a good sign. But
yeah, I like that.
I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. I probably not.
I don't know.
But Summer League will be interesting. I'm excited. For Summer League. Summer League's always fun to watch, but this will actually.
Is Bones gonna play Summer League?
I don't know. He averaged like 30 a game if he went.
I know. he was playing in like some Philly league or something. I had like 46.
Yeah, I saw that.
But anyways, I feel like that's mostly the basketball stuff. So yeah, we can just transition into hockey. The Avs take a 3-1 lead over the Lightning, and probably the most exciting game of the series. The Lightning scored like right away in like the first 30 seconds. I was like, oh my God, really? And then, it was just nothing really going on up until the power play in the second period, where the Avs are like 50% on power plays this series.
Yeah.
And they scored, and that was the first. Oh wait, no. The second goal was the first 5-on-5 goal that Tampa has allowed in like 6 straight home games or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, they scored on the power play, which was kind of a lucky play with Vasilevsky losing his stick. And then the second goal, I'm trying to remember what happened, but I can't really.
It was the Nico Sturm, like he hit it off of
Cogliano's leg. That was another super lucky goal.
Yeah.
And then obviously they scored in overtime, but Kemper had probably like the best game. I mean, he did have the best game of the playoffs, I think.
Oh yeah, by far.
Maybe the best game of this season for him. It was really good to see him bounce back after that horrible game, whatever that game was, 3. Yeah, I mean, he outplayed Vasilevsky, who had a phenomenal game. So
Vasilevsky, especially in overtime, even like he was playing so well. I thought he saved the Kadri goal, and I'm pretty sure everybody did, just because it felt like a save that he was going to make because he'd been making every save.
I thought he was just lying on top of the puck. Like I thought he saved it, and then the announcer was like, "Oh, what a play!" But I thought he was talking about the goalie saying, "Oh, what a play!" But I think he was talking about Kadri.
I still don't. I didn't know that it went in. The players didn't know that it went in. Bo Byron was kind of the only guy who was like, "Hey, it's in!" Like the puck's there. So that was obviously good awareness on him. But like, man, this game, I like have not been this stressed out watching a sporting event since Nuggets Jazz game 7. Like, and even then, like that was just because like it should not have been that stressful. But the end, the last 15 seconds of that game took 3 years off of
I think I was the most stressed ever, like watching. Well, either probably one of the Rockies like wild cards or Game 7 against Portland at home. That just, God, dude, I remember.
I have like blocked out that game from I don't remember anything after we went up 17.
Yeah, exactly. We were up 17. I remember them showing like a Monte Morris layup. We were up 17. I'm like,
that's all I remember.
Yeah,
I have completely blocked that game from my memory.
I know. From that point up to the McCollum shot, and then the Craig. My God, what happened there? Craig had like the brick from from 3,
Oh my god,
wide open in the
yeah.
corner.
It's because Jamal went for a layup and then he got
Yeah.
blocked.
Oh yeah,
But Tori just pulled out for 3 and he airballed.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that was painful.
I know that game was probably the most stressed, I guess. Stressful. Portland game 5 was definitely stressful.
That was
The
stressful.
one with no fans really.
Yeah.
2021 with Damian Lillard going crazy, but yeah, this game was definitely up there.
Yeah. And it's even like just playoff overtime in general. It's just like,
Yeah,
because one tiny mistake
I know
and
you
you're
could be
done.
out. That's what I was scared that we were outplaying them like too badly that they would just get
Yeah.
one lucky break and then be like, bro, are you kidding me? Because
Yeah.
they were outplaying the hell out of Tampa Bay in overtime.
Hmm.
I don't know what what like the shot differential in overtime was.
It was, for sure, it was 11-3, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Like they outshot them a lot. And I think honestly, like Colorado got dominated in the first period. They obviously
Yeah,
go down 1-0 immediately. And then Kemper keeps them in the game. Like there were like Nick Paul had a breakaway chance for Tampa Bay. He stole it away from McKinnon, which it like right in front of the goal. Really bad play by McKinnon. But he was able to, Kemper was able to get a big stop on there. There were multiple tries that that Tampa Bay had, and Kemper really kept him in. The shot difference was like 17-4 after the first period. So it just looked like this was going to be another repeat of game
yeah,
3, but Kemper was on it.
I know.
He was really on. The first goal, I don't like blame him. There was too much traffic. There was no way they weren't going to score.
And they ripped off his face.
Yeah,
Man.
and his helmet come like there was no way they weren't going to score. Second goal was bad, but
no, the second goal was horrible.
yeah, like that was bad on all parts. That was like a leftover from game 3. Like the defense didn't do anything. They didn't stop Hedman at all, and then
yeah,
very easy shot that Kemper just misplayed really badly.
he should. That was such a weak shot though. Like
Yeah,
he should have saved that. But yeah, I remember when it was like 1-0 ish. Going throughout the whole first period into the second period, I'm like, we are so lucky. It's only 1-0, and Kemper, yeah, outside of that second goal, played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, and he got an assist on,
Yeah.
on the winner, Kadri. Like this game was at Colorado. After the first period, they completely outplayed Tampa Bay. In the second period, they were able to get a lot of good pushes. You could see Kadri, like he only had 2 shots on goal, but you could tell like Tampa Bay was paying a lot of attention to him. They're paying a lot more attention to him than they were to Obe Kubel when he was taking his place. Like you could just tell his impact and his presence opened up so much more for everybody else. Tampa Bay still did block a lot of shots. Like they had like 33 or 34 blocks, which is their game. But like, man, like it was like the Colorado, you could tell they just had more control of the game than they did in game 3, which is exactly what they wanted. And this is another example of kind of game 1. Like Colorado they don't have to be pushing it and finding breaks every single time. They can play a more slower paced game of hockey like Tampa Bay does and still be able to get away with winning it. Like Colorado, I don't think Colorado played their best game. Like this was like obviously their best game was game 2, but like they weren't even close to that, and they still were able to win. And I thought Tampa Bay played very well in this one, especially Vasilevsky and especially their defense.
Yeah, I mean overall it was a really even game, and there hasn't been like Avalanche dominant other than that overtime period. It hasn't felt like the Avs have dominated since game 2 at any point in the game. But yeah, I mean, then Kadri was huge. Like he was playing like his normal amount of minutes coming off of that injury. He can barely even like shoot, but he somehow got it around Vasilevsky. McKinnon finally got on the board, which is good. What else? Oh, I was gonna talk about like that overtime goal. All the Lightning people are complaining about how there are like 6 Avalanche players on the ice. The Lightning had like 7 too at the exact same time. So there's that. Plus, it's also again like the Avs goal number 2 was scored. The first goal they allowed 5v5 throughout the last 6 home games, and then they allow another one. So it's like, obviously the player who was going off the ice, I think it was McKinnon, had no no effect on the
There's
play.
no impact on the play. Yeah. Like the
So
plays like that happen. Jared Bednar said like that happens every second shift of games.
yeah,
Like happens all the time.
and
Tampa Bay
even
got
one
away
of
with
the
it last year in the conference
right.
final against the Islanders. Like they had a shorthanded goal. They're only supposed to have 4 players on the ice, and they had 7, and they scored. But once again, it was just because they were just changing shifts, and it just took a little longer than normal.
Yeah.
Like it happens all the time. Like this is the way it is. And if you're going to complain about that, you have to complain about the first goal that Colorado allowed, where Kemper's helmet gets taken off by Cirelli's stick. So, like it's that's just a dumb thing to complain about. And John Cooper like retracted his statements. Essentially, he was like, "Yeah, I was just emotional. Like it really wasn't that bad."
Yeah.
Which is good. But Tampa Bay fans are still...
One of the Lightning players, I forget who it was. It was either like Hagel, Colton, or like Killorn or something, said that that happened. Like he didn't care because it happens every single time that they sub. So, yeah.
Jesus, how many picks do Minnesota have? Good Lord.
What's that? I saw Kendall Brown went.
They picked him and they got another one. Matteo Spagnolo, most Italian name of all time. Jesus. Shot 44% from 3 last season. That's decent.
Indiana got Kendall Brown.
Indiana got Kendall Brown?
Yeah, Minnesota traded 48 to Indiana.
Huh. Oh, okay. The Cavs selected Isaiah Mobley.
Yeah.
Him and Evan Mobley will be back together again. That's a cool story. But yeah, I think Colorado, I mean, they outplayed Tampa Bay really after they scored the first goal. Like that second goal was such a big mistake. Like it really should not have happened. And Tampa Bay might have scored another legit goal, but even if they did, Colorado just outplayed them. Defensively, they were much more on point. Their communication was a lot better. There was a play like this. Tampa Bay scored on a play like this in game 1 where Kucherov passed it to Palat in a really good play, like on a handoff type of thing. And Colorado got kind of messed up. Makar and Taves got messed up. Very similar thing happened in game 3 where Palat scored again because he was just left wide open on miscommunication. In this game, that they tried that play a couple of times where they handed off at the line, at the blue line, and then one guy drives to the net and he's wide open. They tried that and it didn't work this time. So Colorado has been able to adjust to that. Tampa Bay's offensive strengths. So yeah, I mean they got to close it out because once again, if you give them momentum, it's going to be going to be tough.
And this is where Vasilevsky is really tough. Like these elimination games, he allows less than 1 goal per game in these elimination games. But I think like going back home after an overtime win, this like could be an Avalanche blowout. Is what I'm kind of feeling, I guess. But if the Lightning do win this game, like I think it is kind of scary because you got to go back to them. They have the momentum. They played well at home. So yeah, winning this game will be huge. I can't even watch it if I'm like working, which sucks.
Oh, dang. That's tough.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think Colorado has a good chance to close it out. They have all the momentum. It looked like Tampa Bay was just kind of like defeated after it happened.
Yeah, I know, because this is like one of those games where it's like Tampa Bay was leading for most of the game. They're probably feeling good. And then this is like the huge game, pivotal game in the series where the other team like comes back and just deflates the other team completely. And as you said, I think they were completely deflated after this loss, which is why I'm kind of feeling like an Avalanche blowout. But
yeah, and this is kind of what happened in the St. Louis series. Colorado goes up 3-1. They win 2 games in St. Louis, and they go up 3-0 in game 5 at home. And you're kind of thinking, all right, here we go, time to wrap it up. And they kind of allow St. Louis to start to get more into their game. And then obviously St. Louis wins in overtime. They cannot allow that to happen right now. Like Colorado has to be able to close this out at home. Because if this goes to a game 7, then that's just going to be – don't want that. Tampa has already won a game 7 on the road in this postseason. You don't want that to happen again. They have a lot of big time players. They have a lot of players who are just good in general. Like they're going to be able to do it. They're a team that fights. Like they're not going to give up. They haven't given up in any game so far. Colorado, obviously, they were up 3-1 in the first period in game one. They came back, tied it immediately. So Colorado has to close it out. They have to close it out. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. Very much more stressful situations. Right. I want to go to like a watch party in Denver, but they're just like I saw like the Tivoli Quad, I think is what it's called, like where the Avalanche hosts the watch party. It's like there's so many people there. You can't bring an umbrella for shade. You can't bring your own water. You can't bring your own food. You can't bring a chair to sit. Like you just.
I know you got to stand and you
can't
really
stand
move at all.
Bake.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal. So I don't know if I might just go watch that at someone's house again. But it's just the biggest game that a Denver team has played in quite some time to be able to win a trophy like this. Be interesting to see who gets, if Colorado does win, who out of it's either going to be McKinnon or Makar for the playoff MVP. I don't know who it'll be. I think
it could have even been Nichushkin had a ton of goals.
Yeah.
But he didn't really do anything last game.
Yeah, last two he's been kind of quiet.
It could be like Rantanen because of all the assists he's had, because he tied Gretzky.
Yeah.
For most assists through like 3 games, and then he had another assist in game 4. It seems very up in the air right now because it's not like
the thing is like it's not like how for basketball it's like the finals MVP. It's like a playoff long MVP. So they take into account the previous rounds. Like I think if it was playoff MVP or just finals MVP, Rantanen 100% would have been in contention, but he really didn't start to get going until.
I thought it was a finals MVP.
No, it's like playoff long. Like Connor McDavid is going to get votes because he was so good in the playoffs, even though he's not in the final. But that's why. Like I think like Makar McKinnon really good in the first round against Nashville. They both kind of struggled against St. Louis, and then in Edmonton both were really good. So, and I think McKinnon's been a little bit better in this series. Obviously, he has a goal. Makar doesn't, but I'm pretty sure Makar has more points.
I think Makar did score. He scored that shorthanded goal.
He scored 2
in game 2.
In game 2, yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. So I think Makar might win it, but it'll be interesting to see out of which one. If Makar, I guess he won the Norris, the best defenseman in hockey. He has won the Hobey Baker, which is the best college player. He won the Calder, which is Rookie of the Year. If he can win the Norris, the Stanley Cup, and the Conn Smythe in a week, and he's 23, that's going to be ridiculous.
That is crazy.
That's going to be unbelievable. And
that's like Giannis, like accolades.
Yeah, like it's going to be unreal. Like that's like an unbelievable resume to have at 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just like I'm kind of rooting for that to happen.
Yeah.
No, New Orleans took Carlo Matkovic. He's did we talk about him?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I think we did actually.
Super athletic dude.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I wonder if we're gonna get that Mičić guy.
Oh, apparently Jokic wants him really bad. Jake Fisher.
Yeah. The Nuggets are stashing Kamagate.
Oh man.
For next year. Does that mean he plays in the summer league? I don't know.
I think he could. Wait, how did you see that?
It was Harrison Wind.
Okay. Yeah, they said his player comparison is Daniel Gafford, which honestly is pretty good. Daniel Gafford's a good player. And if you can get a guy like him in the second round, that's pretty solid. Hold on. I think he can play in summer league because I'm pretty sure Peter Cornely played in summer league and he still was in France.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a good choice though to stash him. because
I mean, even Jokic was stashed. Like,
yeah, Jokic was stashed for a year. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. You can either stash him or put him in the G League. He's not going to play immediately, obviously.
right.
You can stash him or put him in the G League. So it's up. I think stashing him, if he wanted to be stashed, if he wants to keep playing in France, go for it. Because I mean, he's young. I think pretty sure he's only 19 or 20. He probably doesn't know a lot of English. So for him to develop in a country that he obviously knows how to operate in, to make him more comfortable, go for it.
Yeah. He is 21. So
okay. Yeah.
still young.
They showed highlights of this Carlo Matkovic. He played for Mega. Him and Jovic were
teammates.
Yeah. I wanted. It's just because he's so athletic. It's just hilarious to see a guy like that. But yeah, I think that's probably gonna do it for now. We will see what happens tomorrow. I probably won't do one if the Avs win. We might just wait until later, maybe until free agency starts. We'll do some when that happens. We'll talk about that then. But for now, it's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching.